All right, there we go. Much better. Welcome back into the Pillow Talk edition, take two. I'm sorry, this is take two. I've been having nothing but technical issues around here. For some reason, I did absolutely nothing. I thought everything was straight, and we'll bring James in here. Pugs and Parker present Pillow Talk. That's what we do. Here's James. Welcome in, James. Do I sound okay?
You sound amazing. Dare I say handsome?
Well, you look terrible. You're frozen already. I don't know what's happening.
No way. I'm
Yeah,
frozen.
you are frozen already.
That's unfortunate. I feel handsome.
Well, why don't you just kill your camera, man? Just do volume, just do audio. Just because whatever's happening over on your end. There you go. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can totally hear it. It's not even skipping over here. It all sounds cool.
All right, now go back again. Let's see this again.
What?
Go
Do
back.
this again?
Now you're good. Now you're good. Now you look fine. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Okay, good.
So now, anytime you freeze up, just do that again. Just turn the camera off for a second and then come back.
See, Leslie says I look fine.
You do. You look fine.
I know what she's trying to say. That's a very nice way of saying she's attracted to me without getting in trouble.
Well, there you go. There you go. That's a compliment for you. Welcome into the second stream I do each and every day. First one, high noon. Join me at noon. We talk about topics, anything that's trending, current events, headline driven, that sort of thing. That's just me. But then I come back at 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Central Time, the best time. And I have James Parker with me. It's Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. Whoo. Got to apologize for the way the show ended today. The high noon show. Internet went out again. The internet was fine. Everything was great. Everything was beautiful. Everything was working great. And then all of a sudden, flap. But there was only like 10 minutes left in the show. It happened at 1:48. And I needed to, I wasn't going to be able to go much past 2 o'clock anyway. So I rebooted everything. And then I just got on with my day. And I do apologize.
I can't believe the internet goes out in Highland Park.
Yeah, I can't either. You would think. You would think. Although we got big doings here in Highland Park today. Oh my God! Don't know if you've been paying attention to the breaking
Have not.
news. Ooh, well,
Do tell.
We are going to talk about it. And if you don't know anything about it, then I'm glad because
I know nothing.
I want your raw. You don't know You don't know what the big news coming out of Dallas today is. Dallas, known for two things, killing a president and a football team, and this one has nothing to do with killing a president. This one has everything to do with Jerry Jones's love child, ladies and gentlemen, stepping out from the shadows and saying, Jerry's my baby or my daddy, and he's been paying for me my whole life, and now I'm out. Oh, we're going to break this down. This just broke this afternoon. Jerry Jones, right down the block. Dude lives right down the block.
This is the first I've heard of it.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's such a creepy story. And if you're really quiet, listen. You can hear rolling pins and pots and pans being thrown at Jerry as he scampers around his mansion right now by his wife.
I hear that, yeah.
You never tell me about your love child. Baby, she's lying. Then why have you been writing checks to her for 25 years? Oh, he's such a dirtbag, isn't he?
Dude, we can hear it down here in Tyler. Look, dude, it's funny that comes up because one of the things I wanted to talk to you about is this story I saw. Can I just give you the quick preview?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so there's a guy who's or he was an executive at Goldman Sachs. Now he's trying to rise up through the ranks in New York City, and things are going well. But in order for him to take his career to the next level, he gets the promotion, but he has to go to Kuala Lumpur and be the president of their branch in Malaysia.
Done.
Right.
If I'm like worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and that's what an executive at Goldman Sachs typically is, I'll live in Kuala Lumpur. You can live well.
Yeah. So he wasn't worth hundreds of millions of dollars, but if he takes this job, he will be. And then life going forward is just even sweeter if he can make it even further up the chain. Then he comes back to New York and he's like in the C-suite at Goldman Sachs. So he's a billionaire.
Yeah.
So the thing is he has like a whole life that he has built in New York City. Beautiful wife. I saw a picture of her. She's an absolute perfect 10. It just doesn't get any hotter than that, period, point blank in the story. I don't care if she's 50 now. She still looks ridiculously gorgeous. And kids, right? So you don't want to pull them out of school and take them to Kuala Lumpur because the only thing they know about Malaysia is what they saw in Zoolander, kill the Malaysian prime minister or whatever.
And the planes disappear off radar.
Yeah, the other one. That's the two things we know about Malaysia. That's about it. They got them buildings with the big spires on them that piss you off.
Cool architecture, but yeah.
Yeah. So the wife and kids stay here, and he goes to Kuala Lumpur and heads this bank, and he's going to make regular trips home as much as he possibly can, as much as his career will allow. So, while he's
or you want to go into it now? I mean,
well, no, I'm almost done. While he's in Kuala Lumpur, he finds another girlfriend who's also a perfect 10.
Of course.
And then they get together. She gives him the ultimatum, like, you either need to divorce your wife and be with me or it's over. So this guy creates a fake email and a fake Facebook account for his air quotes wife, and emails her and it's like, hey, he told me what's going on and he wants a divorce, and I just want to let you know you have my blessing and everything's cool and we've worked it out. But he doesn't really divorce her. So then he keeps this thing going on for years and years, so like if he ever needs an excuse, like, I've got to stay here an extra week, my wife was in a fender bender and she's in the hospital, he would email as her from this other account. So it was a brilliant thing that worked for years, and only got exposed because him and a business partner are wrapped up in an embezzlement trial right now. So.
Well, this is going to be fun. We're going to have a takedown of two rich douchebags, it sounds like, on tonight.
Well, no, I see. I hesitate to call them douchebags because I just think. Well, I know, I understand that, but
I hate rich people.
Oh, you do? I just think they're like me, but they're idiots like us with money.
No, they're not.
I would do a lot of dumb stuff if I had that much money. Yeah. But what this is sort of it's polygamy is what it is. Guys want to have more than one outlet for propagation of the species. It's very common in the animal kingdom. In fact, it's the norm in the animal kingdom, and there's a biological evolutionary explanation for the desire to do this. And if I could afford to have two full households, two full families, I don't know, I'm really digging one. If I could afford two, that seems like a cool option to have. I just don't have that option.
You're a terrible person. Okay.
Thank you.
So, for those of you who listen to the High Noon Show, what you just heard James say in the whole rich people, they're just like me, but they have more money. From the High Noon Show that what James is suffering from is Mansion on the Hill syndrome, and he doesn't listen to the Noon Show, so he doesn't know what that is. But let's get right into the monologue, because this is our favorite part. You want to talk about doing the heavy lifting. James Parker, every day. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Comfort Nest stage, high above the 1%er compound in beautiful downtown Highland Park, Texas. He's a man of mirth, even though he doesn't know what mirth means.
I have no idea. Could be anything.
He's James Ethelfled Parker.
Hey, I've been watching Vikings too, man. I'm excited. All right, Dancing with the Stars pro Maskim Chernovsky is being slammed for fleeing Ukraine. His country needed him, and he just waltzed off. It's a good pun, man. Like unappreciative audience. All right. Also in Ukraine, the humanitarian crisis is getting even worse. Officials say if you want to help, please donate to a reputable charity and not the Trump Foundation. All right, let's try that again. In Ukraine, the humanitarian crisis is getting even worse. Officials say if you want to help, please donate to a reputable charity and not the Clinton Foundation. Oh, I think we've uncovered our audience's bias. According to a new poll, former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo still enjoys strong support from female voters, especially those he hasn't molested.
Why didn't I find Oh! We've certainly uncovered your bias.
Oh, yeah. It was pretty obvious. Over in England, a book that was 65 years overdue was returned to the public library, finally. When asked for a comment, the local librarian said, shh. Shh. All right, Walmart. See, it worked. The shush worked. Walmart is planning to eliminate all cashiers in a couple stores. It's like a new little thing they're trying, which would mean lost jobs for dozens of employees. Because they don't have a lot of cashiers whenever I go. There's always lines.
Time out. Are you a professional broadcaster? What do you got, a cough lozenge in your mouth? What's going on?
So these are Sun-made chocolate yogurt covered raisins.
Yeah.
My kids just turned me on to these, and I'm going through a phase. So I apologize if it's distracting. I know it's very unprofessional, but
It's very
I'm a crackhead, okay?
just kind
In Oklahoma, a 26-year-old female teacher's aide was arrested for doing sex with an underage male student. Her excuse: the teacher was too busy. So that's what teachers' aides are for, isn't it? And finally, according to the Globe magazine, country singer Miranda Lambert's marriage is in crisis. In a related story, Miranda Lambert has a new song called "My Marriage Is in Crisis." All right, sometimes country songs write themselves.
Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. Let's see here. Quickly, I wanted to mention.
Before the Jerry story?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. We're gonna dig deep into the Jerry story. But are you an Amanda Bynes fan? I'm an Amanda Bynes fan.
I'm a fan of her looks, but I don't know if I'm necessarily familiar with her work.
Oh, well, I'm just the opposite. I am a fan of her because of her work and not necessarily because of her looks, although she's pretty. But Amanda Bynes, for those of you who don't remember, she came out in that cluster of young Hollywood that we all had to deal with between like 2000 and 2010. Some of them got out alive. Some of them crashed and burned. You know what I mean? We're talking
Brittany Murphy's dead. Heath Ledger's dead. Right.
the Mandy Moores, the Amanda Bynes, the Lindsay Lohans, some of them made it out, although I can't really think of any that made it out, but you know what I'm saying.
Vanessa Hudgens made it out. Zac Efron made it out. Yeah.
Yeah, Selena Gomez made it out. Yeah, a lot of them did make it out. A lot of them didn't. Amanda Bynes is probably, in my estimation, one of the most talented of all of them. I mean, they're all talented. They're all talented. Like, you can say what you want about Lindsay Lohan, but there is something that she had as a little girl that made her more talented than the other pretty little girls who were auditioning.
And I totally agree with that, because there's so many shows that are ruined by horrible child actors, and to see any of them with that little spark of they get it.
Yeah.
It's so rare, and she had it.
Dakota Johnson Dakota
Fanning.
Dakota Fanning. Yeah. Who's Dakota Johnson? Oh, that's Don Johnson and Melanie Griffith's daughter. That's right. But Amanda Bynes had it. Amanda Bynes was really good. She was in Hairspray. She was terrific in Hairspray. I mean, you can pull up Amanda Bynes like the history and just click on all the movies. Everything thing that she has done, the critics have just been like, she's good. This girl is very good. This girl is very talented. But she went all Lohan. She had like this really. Are you familiar with any of the crazy things that she went through? Any of the why we don't talk about her anymore?
Well, I just pulled up her IMDb page, and she hasn't done anything since 2010, which is very suspicious.
She retired from acting in 2010 after. Here, wait. Actually, I got a scene. Let me show you this scene.
When she was like 24, she retired from acting.
Yeah. She has some mental issues. She had some addiction issues. She caused a lot of problems. But here, let me just give you an example. This is always, whenever I think of her, I always think of this. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. So she was in a movie called She's the Man, and you may not have ever seen it. It may be a movie.
Is this a tranny thing?
No, sort of. What it is it's the 12th Night. It's a modern day adaptation of Shakespeare's The 12th Night. Sebastian and Viola, the brother and sister who are separated, and Viola poses as Sebastian. It's that whole thing. But they updated it, and Amanda Bynes they moved it to a prep school, and she had to pretend to be him. But at any rate, she was very good in this movie. And this movie is very good. Like, look at, you would want to dismiss it as just some stupid mid 2000s teen rom-com, right? But you really can't, because it's a very good movie. And the critics even, I mean, it's got very good reviews. Her performance in particular. I just want to show you here. This is her. This is high level comedy that she's doing. She's not delivering lines. She is being a physical comedian. And this is just to set the scene. This is Viola. She has been masquerading as a boy for the entire movie, but now she must attend a luncheon where she's got to be herself again. She's got to be a girl, and it's a luncheon for girls who are coming out, debutantes. It's like a fancy debutante luncheon. Okay.
Like being introduced into society.
Yes, exactly. And just watch her physical comedy chops. I mean, she is just so strong. She's really terrific. And that's why there's a story that goes along with her today that I wasn't aware of. So watch this. Here she is.
There. Hello there.
Make sure she's in the back for the group photo.
Thank you for joining us, Viola. Now, who's ready to come out?
Kill me.
She hates her, if you haven't guessed.
Viola, darling, remember, chew like you have a secret. Please.
All right. Well, that's just basic. Anyway, I was always impressed with her physical comedy, the way that she's not a shrieking violet. She's not like a girl who's afraid. She had talent. She had something. So she's in the news today, and I didn't know anything about this. All I know is that in 2010, she said, after she started like a fire in somebody's driveway, some total stranger, she just started that's a fire. She just started a big fire in somebody's driveway. She was also famous because in her New York apartment building, she lived in this fancy penthouse, and she was down in the lobby just like doing bong rips and saying hi to people as they came in. And when the police got called, and she ran back up to her penthouse. And when the police walked into her apartment, she had the bong in her hand, and she just flung it off like the 40th floor. She just threw it out the window, hit a car. Like, she had some problems. But apparently, she is in the same situation as Britney Spears. Her parents got a conservatorship on her back in 2010. And apparently she made some money because she was in some very successful movies, and she was a hot property, especially when she signed on to do Hairspray, and Hairspray was a big hit for her, and it was a big hit movie and a big hit. She could sing. She was nominated for a Grammy on the soundtrack, all that stuff. So she was making some money as a young woman, probably a couple million there in the bank. And her family. Oh, she also did a whole bunch of drugs, and then went on Twitter and accused her dad of like sexually molesting her whole life. And then the next day she went, I don't know why I said that. None of that was true. And her dad was like mortified. Her dad was like, what? So she had some problems, and she did a lot of drugs, and and so at any rate, she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. So this is her now. I want to show you her. Oh, the other thing that she did, because she didn't want to act anymore. She wanted to be taken as a serious actress, right? So she made a really dumb move. She got a tattoo on her face. She got a heart tattoo on her face because she didn't want to be objectified. She wanted to be a serious actress.
Well, that'll make it impossible to be a serious actress.
Make it impossible to do anything. Nobody's going to want to. So she is now, to show that she's getting normal, she's going through these tattoo removal things. So here, I want to show this. So we know what she used to look like, right? We do. Okay, so let's see this now. This is her today. She's 35 years old. She is going to court on the 22nd to get her conservatorship removed. So that her parents don't own everything. Man, she was like engaged to Seth MacFarlane. I mean, she had like a whole career. She had like stuff going on. All right, can we see her? Look at her now. This is see the tattoo on her face?
Yep, big dumb glasses, ill-kept hair, clearly overweight.
What's up, Instagram?
Septum
Amanda Bynes here.
piercing.
My court date is coming up in 2 weeks. I want to thank you all so much for your love and support. Peace out.
And that's it. And that's like the first thing anybody has seen from her in years. And she's
That does not help.
well, I mean, I don't know what is she. I feel so bad for her because she's obviously got her issues are not that she's a drug addict party girl. Again, you got to look deeper. It's easy to just dismiss. She has some diagnosed mental issues, and her parents control all of her money, and she's trying to get her money back. She's 35 years old. Brittany, we were talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. We're not talking about that with Amanda Bynes, right? I mean, I just fear that she's going to get, because of this whole thing where conservatorships are evil, like she's just going to get let free, right? And I don't know if she's okay or that she's ready for it. I hope that she is. But with that stupid tattoo on her face, she's not going to get her career back. I mean, her career was hot. It was really exploding. She was starring in big, popular, commercially successful films. I don't know. I just wanted I wanted to show what she looked like now because she has reemerged. We're 2 weeks away from her court appearance.
And she just looks like a random girl you'd bump into at like the mall in Frisco.
Yeah. And I just it's such a shame. Because I really thought she was very talented. She was boy, was that Chicago talented. That's one of the Chicago words that I just can't, no matter how I try and stop my accent. Talented's always going to come out like that. She's talented. She's a talented girl. All right. Should we segue into the Jerry Jones stuff? I'm going to be paying attention to the Amanda Bynes trial as it moves forward. So I'll keep.
Well, look, I'm just generally against conservatorships, period. I know it's probably for her best interest or whatever, but once you're 18, if you want to blow all your money, blow all your damn money. It's more important that people be in control of their own lives rather than some third party be able to come in and do what's air quotes good for them. Yeah. Even if it is their parents. Macaulay Culkin didn't get any favors done to him by his parents. The record of history is replete with parents ripping off their kids, which Britney Spears' dad probably did. No, I don't.
The Culkins, they got divorced, and there was like a huge fight over all the money. And then the kids went, "Wait a second, where's all this money coming from? Hey, that's our money." That was like a whole big thing. Yeah. Hold on. In 2012, Bynes was charged with driving under the influence in West Hollywood. 2 years later. Yeah, everybody gets that. 2 years later, the charge was dropped and she received a 3-year probation. In May of 2013, Bynes was charged again with reckless endangerment and marijuana possession after she was found smoking in the lobby. That's the story I told you about. Mm-hmm. When officers entered her 36th floor apartment, she allegedly threw the bong out the window, crashing into a car below. A New York County judge dismissed and it was one of those nice glass bongs. It was a movie star bong. It wasn't like, plastic.
No, it wouldn't have crashed anything. Yeah. If it was plastic, it would have floated harmlessly down.
Let's see. In July of 2013, Ventura County Sheriff's deputies detained her after she allegedly started a fire in the driveway of a stranger home in Thousand Oaks, California. She was then hospitalized under a 72-hour mental health evaluation. Bynes' parents filed for a conservatorship of their daughter shortly thereafter. In August, Bynes' mother was granted temporary conservatorship over all of Bynes' affairs. In October of 2014, Bynes accused her father of emotional and sexual abuse in a series of tweets. When her parents protested their innocence, Bynes tweeted that her father had never actually abused her. But here we go, the microchip in my brain made me say those things, but he's the one that ordered them to microchip me, she said, in apologizing to her father. So, I'm thinking, I know you're against conservatorships, but where do we stand on the whole microchip stuff, Amanda? Can we? That would be the first question if I was the judge. What's up with the microchip? Is it still in your head? How we doing? And then depending on how she answers that, we'll move forward.
Yeah, still against it. People are allowed to be crazy and believe in microchips and still spend their own money. It's my preference. I know. I'm an absolutist. I'm a jerk like that.
Should we jump into Jerry Jones? Do you want to get?
Please do, because I don't know what this is about. He's had a secret second family this whole time.
I love this. Jerry Jones, the owner of your Dallas Cowboys, America's team. Woman sues. This is out of Dallas Morning News. It's just posted a couple hours ago. This is hot. Boy, all the local morning radio shows going to be talking about this, except for the Fan, because they're not allowed to say anything against Jerry Jones, because, Woman sues Dallas. You want to get the straight dope, you listen to the ticket on this one. They'll give you some nice pulling apart of this story tomorrow.
Hot sports opinions.
Woman sues Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, says he is her father, court documents say. The lawsuit claims Jones and the woman's mother had reached a settlement that barred the child from publicly identifying that Jones was her father. All right. A 25-year-old congressional aide who grew up in North Texas has sued Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, alleging he is her biological father. Attorneys for Alexandra Davis filed the lawsuit Thursday in Dallas County, saying that Jones and her mother had a relationship in the mid-90s from which she was conceived. According to court documents, Jones and Davis's mother, Cynthia Davis, reached a settlement to financially support the mother and child as long as they didn't publicly identify Jones as the father. Alexandra Davis is asking a court to find that she isn't legally bound by the agreement between Jones and her mother if she were to attempt to legally establish that he is her father. She doesn't want to be sued or lose her financial trust, so she wants him to keep paying, which, she's 25, and we'll get into the details of the payments, because this isn't some crazy person coming out of it. This person has receipts. This person has a lifetime of canceled checks and bank deposits from, Dallas Cowboys corporate or whatever. So mom's got pictures of her when she was dating Jerry. I mean, there was a thing there. There was a legit thing. There is no real, she is Jerry Jones's daughter, and she's been quiet all this time. The lawsuit was temporarily sealed Wednesday ahead of a hearing scheduled for March 31st, court records show. The Dallas Morning News obtained the lawsuit through the county's online court record system before the file was sealed. Ooh, good for us, because that means we get all the details. Alexandra Davis and her attorney could not be reached for comment by phone or email Wednesday. Her mother declined to immediately comment. Attorneys listed in court records as representing Jones could not be reached for comment by phone or email Wednesday afternoon, and Jim Wilkinson, a personal spokesperson for Jones, declined to comment. He ain't saying nothing. Now look, if they knew this was like a sham, he'd comment, "This is patently untrue, and we're looking forward to our day in court." You know how they say all that kind of stuff. Oh no, when your personal spokesperson says, "I ain't saying nothing," that means
that's a yes.
It's a yes. Yes. It's a yes by omission. Jones made millions drilling for oil as a young man and is also a real estate developer. The oil business set him up to buy the Cowboys in 1989. For how much did Jerry Jones pay for the Cowboys in 1989, James? They're worth about $5 billion now. What did he pay for them in 1989?
Was it 180 million or something?
140 million. Boy, oh boy, you want
million.
to talk about a return on investment, huh? All that for disappointing people all these years. That's a pretty nice penny that he's turned. Cowboys haven't won a Super Bowl since 1996, but Forbes still ranks them as the most valuable sports franchise in the world. The lawsuit comes as the Cowboys faced recent controversy over a 2016 legal settlement involving 4 cheerleaders. We talked about that.
Yeah, we did.
Here's where it gets a little hinky, because there ain't nobody to root for in this whole thing. These people are all idiots. Like,
they're going to be fine either way. I get it.
Cynthia and Alexandra Davis starred in the 3rd and final season of Big Rich, Texas, a reality show based in Dallas-Fort Worth that followed 5 wealthy women and their daughters. At the time, representatives for Cynthia Davis said she was living off a trust fund. Yeah, a trust fund from Jerry Jones. Now, do you remember Big Rich, Texas?
I've never heard of it until just now.
Oh, it was terrible. Oh, it was the worst. It was an attempt to piggyback on the success of Bravo's Real Housewives, and it was just like the most despicable Texas women and their equally despicable young teenage daughters, just all of them living off husband's money and just big hair and fake boobs and condescension and elitism. Oh God, they were just awful. I watched the entire series run. I watched every episode. I know who these people are. I didn't know that it was these people from this show. Oh, I loved it. I couldn't get enough of it. James, I don't know if you know this. I hate Texas-born women. Despise them. Despise them.
Didn't you marry one?
No. My best relationships my whole time in this town came with someone who was born and raised in San Diego and my son's mom who was born and raised in St. Louis, Midwest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, my worst girlfriends, the nuttiest ones, the ones that like never lasted, were the ones that were like, born and raised here with the big hair and oh God. No, you know what? I need to make a change here. I need to qualify this. I hate white Texas women. I hate white Texas women. I hate them. I just hate them. I never had a good relationship with one. Now, actually, that's not true. I have been friends. I'm talking about romantically.
I can't say anything. They've been very good to me.
You're not married. Isn't your wife from Louisiana?
Oh, yeah, she's from New Orleans.
Yeah, you got a good one. You got someone not from here. I don't know. Something happens to white women that are raised in this. After a couple of beers, the N-word slips out. I'm like, what? I swear to God, I shit you not, man. It's like some of the most just despicable behavior. Drunks, selfish. Now, non-white Texas women are pretty awesome. Mexican girls, Texas Mexican girls. Ah, man, I dated a number of those. Sibyl's like an awesome example of that. She's like a
So, are you familiar with the homecoming mom, though? Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I don't. Am I tripped up on your accent? Did you mean
homecoming mom?
Not mom. Like I thought you meant like a homecoming mom. I go, I can only imagine how nasty she is. No, what's a homecoming mom?
Okay, so it's a Texas tradition, and you know the Joe Rogan bit where he says, I'm going to tell you a statistic about Texas that you're not going to believe. There's more tigers in private collections in Texas than exists in the wild in all the rest of the world. And it started because...
Hold on, stop. April, I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about anybody. See, I'm talking about the ones that would never listen to me, of the ones that would never watch a stream. I'm talking about the ones that, not you. I'm just not you, April. I just realized I may have offended some people that I like. April, you and me are friends.
All right. Anyway, Rogan's point was that it started with some guy in Texas wanted to get a tiger, and there's no rules against it, so he got one. And so his neighbor wasn't going to be out-tigered by him, so he got 2 tigers. And then the next guy went back, and he's like, I'm not going to let this guy out-tiger me, and he's open tiger world. And so it just like escalates to where you end up with these ridiculous statistics. Okay, so homecoming moms are along that strain where 50 years ago when you were going to take your girl to the homecoming dance, you would get her like a little corsage, like a little flower to put on her wrist or maybe to pin on her lapel. And then the next guy got a bigger one, and then the next guy got a bigger one. And then you fast forward to modern times, and what we've ended up with is a homecoming mom. Now, I guess I should do this. Like, let me go pull some up over here in Google Images or whatever.
Okay.
But the homecoming moms have morphed and evolved into, by the time I was a kid, they're these huge monstrosities that, I mean, it's almost not even believable. So like, well, that's a ridiculous example. Oh, here's a good example. Let me do my share screen, right? Chrome tab.
I feel like I need to walk back my hatred of Texas women just a little bit while you're pulling that up.
No, you're fine.
No,
you're fine. Dude, you're allowed.
I'm ruined by the women in this neighborhood. I just want you to know that I am right now riding a high of just despising the snobby women in this neighborhood, and 2 particular girls that I dated 20 years ago. Okay, James, continue.
Are you going to name names? I mean, what's going on with that? All right. Does this work if I pull that up? Do you see that these ladies here?
Let me pull it up.
All right. You see that?
Oh, my God. What
yeah. So this is what it normally looks like. See that girl?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, you see this girl? This is what you get now for homecoming if instead of just like a little corsage to go on your wrist. So now it takes up like your whole body.
Okay.
Right? This is what it looks like to go here. This is a great picture. You see this one? This is all the girls and they all line up. And to you, this is the first time you're seeing this. For me, this is the most normal thing in the world. This is what we had to put up with every year at homecoming. And
This
so
looks
it's
like
not
it's like a Native American dance, like a Native American wedding celebration or something. That's what it's. I pulled some up on my end because they're a little bit small over there, so I'm looking at them myself. These are ridiculous. Aren't they just like a boutonniere flower? Shouldn't it just be a flower that you wear on your what
hang on, is
these
that
are
better?
these are
Yes.
trench coats. These are like gigantic full body coats.
Well, kinda. And the point of the homecoming mom is the bigger the better. The point of the homecoming mom is to outdo the person next to you, and it doesn't count if you don't completely outdo the person next to you. Here, like pull this one up.
I'm
This is
seeing some really ridiculous. I'm seeing one that is just a girl's head sticking out of a giant thing. It's like
right. And so now it has like bells on it, it has lights on it, some of them play music,
oh my
but you see what's going on there, and it goes across all races, colors, socioeconomic classes. It's a whole thing. It's a homecoming mom thing.
okay.
And so remember, this is like this is where the Texas girls come from. This is right. This is all circling back to your larger point. Like you're right, they are Texas girls are different. They are.
Really different. Texas
So
white girls. I really do make that distinction. Texas white girls.
well, look, you can say that, but the distinction fades once you get out of the big cities. They're all like this because there's not a term for it, but there's toxic masculinity. Toxic femininity is. I mean, I'm not saying it's a thing or something we should be worried about, but if it did exist, this is what it would look like. This is toxic femininity here. I mean, I personally love it. It's actually my preference because these are my people.
The boys pay for this stuff?
You get one from your parents, you get one from your boyfriend. Yeah, so you're really only guaranteed one.
Byron wants to know if they have rape whistles on them. That would be very nice.
Right.
All right. Well, look, that's a tradition thing. I don't really hold that against because these are kids. This is a tradition thing. That's
I just want to give a little context on where these girls come from.
Yeah. I don't know. I just the whole Texas cheerleader mom thing. The whole I can't do it. But you were talking about toxic femininity. Another great example of toxic femininity that is celebrated. Oh, there goes James. He just got.
No, I'm here.
No, but you're all squirrely. You're like a test pattern. There he is.
Oh, okay.
Another example of this is the whole popularity of the Real Housewives thing. That is toxic femininity. The Real Housewives of this or the Real House, they're mean, they're condescending, they're snarky. They don't seem to have all that many skills at hand. I mean, they're just terrible, terrible people, and I love them. I can't get enough of them. I don't know what my problem is.
All right, so what's the problem with the Jerry Jones situation? Is this going to hurt him in any way other than
let's get back. Let me give you more details. Let's walk through it. We still got to walk through it. Cynthia and Alexandra Davis starred in the third and final season of Big Rich Texas, a reality show based in Dallas-Fort Worth that followed 5 wealthy women and their daughters. At the time, representatives for Cynthia Davis, she has representatives, claimed that she was living off a trust fund. Here are the lawsuit's allegations. According to court documents, Cynthia Davis was married but estranged from her husband when she met Jerry Jones. She was working as a ticket counter agent for American Airlines at the airport in Little Rock. Jones pursued Cynthia Davis, and the pair began a relationship, according to court documents. It's unclear how long the relationship lasted. So she was just like a normal hot girl working at a ticket thing. Creepy old Jerry Jones sidles up. Hey, darling, I'm Jerry Jones, America's team. It's just like, all these pictures we keep seeing of Jerry Jones hanging out in like women's bathrooms at steakhouses. He's always getting in trouble for stuff. It's all true. It is all true. If this turns out to be true, then absolutely every other accusation that has ever been thrown at Jerry Jones suddenly becomes far more believable.
Yeah, the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader lawsuit has a little more weight as well. It shouldn't, and it's not fair, and it's not admissible in court, but in the court of Parker, it counts for something.
That's right. When Emperor Parker, when you come to the Emperor's court, he's going to be leveling swift justice. I'd also like to say about Texas women, the ones that I hate, that they're all beautiful. That's okay. So if that means something to you, it probably does, because that's all that you care about.
Well, it's the most important thing, yeah.
Jones pursued Cynthia Davis, and the pair began a relationship. Alexandra Davis was born on December 16th, 1996, and shortly afterwards, Cynthia Davis and her husband filed for divorce. The baby came out.
Whoops. Yeah.
Little baby girl come out looking like Jerry. Big old teeth. How you doing? How about them Cowboys? Was her first words. Husband filed for divorce. During the divorce proceedings, it was determined through genetic testing, which means that this was the reason for the divorce. Because typical divorces with a baby, you don't do genetic testing.
Damn, that's a tough way to find out your wife cheated, isn't it?
Well, no, he probably knew that's the reason for the divorce. That's probably why he demanded genetic testing, because, it's all coming together. Just follow the dominoes, man. They all lead to the next one. They all just bring us.
Yeah, but like, what if he doesn't know that she's cheating until after he's pregnant? So for a second there, he thinks he's going to have another kid, and
yeah, that sucks. That sucks. And then Jerry's
have
like,
that ripped away from you. Yeah.
Hurts, don't it? Alexandra Davis was born December 16th, shortly after Cynthia and her husband filed for divorce. During the divorce proceedings, it was determined through genetic testing that Alexandra Davis was not the child of Cynthia Davis's husband. He was not ordered to pay child support when the divorce was finalized, and Alexandra Davis did not have a legal father, court documents said. After receiving the test results, Cynthia Davis told Jerry Jones that he was Alexandra Davis's biological father. According to court documents, Jones had told Cynthia Davis that he was not able to have children. Oh, that old line. Jerry, I need you to put some protection on. I can't have babies. I can't have, I'm impotent. I can't have.
I got fixed like 10 years ago.
Yeah, whatever. Come on. It doesn't feel the same.
Yeah, that's what I tell girls.
Let's see. After receiving the test results, she told Jones. Jones had told her that he wasn't able to have children. Jones and his wife, Jean, isn't that her name? Jean Jones? Isn't that
no clue?
Jeannie. Jones and his wife married in 1963. The lawsuit says that Jones and his lawyers negotiated a settlement with Cynthia Davis. All right, so this is a real thing that happened. Jones said, but remember, if we the cheerleader situation, remember Jerry just gave the cheerleaders $4 million because he felt bad, because nothing happened. I just felt bad for him. I just wanted to give him. So Jerry Jones now, in the last couple of months, has a history of just giving people millions of dollars.
To shut up, go away. Yeah.
No, because it feels bad. No, because that's why. That was legitimately what he get. Why'd you pay the cheerleaders if there was no wrongdoing? I feel bad for him. You don't feel bad for anybody, Jerry. You're Jerry Jones, man. We all know you. Come on. Selling me that. Okay, so the lawsuit says Jones. Okay. So the lawsuit says Jones and his lawyers negotiated a settlement with Cynthia Davis that would exchange money for silence. Jones had his friend and lawyer, Donald Jack. Oh, I'm sure this guy's a piece of shit attorney. Donald Jack. I'm sure
his name sounds shady.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, like
Jones
with the
personal attorney. This guy's done some shit, man.
I know, and it shouldn't mean much, but like there was that Trump investigation where some guy named Tony Bobolinsky was involved. I'm like, whatever it is, that dude's guilty. Tony Bobolinsky, guilty.
Tony Bobolinsky did it. Let's see. So Jones had his friend and lawyer, Donald Jack, act on his behalf to help Cynthia Davis with her divorce proceedings. Donnie call you? Hey, baby, Donnie call you?
Donnie Jack? Did Donnie Jack call you?
Donnie Jack, get on this. Come on now.
Sounds like he's Crocodile Dundee's best friend, Donnie Jack.
Donnie Jack declined to comment Wednesday afternoon to the Dallas Morning News. About $27,000 was used to help Cynthia Davis with her divorce, court documents said. An additional $30,000 was given to her to continue negotiations in good faith. The lawsuit alleges that it was in Jones' best interest for Cynthia Davis to finalize the divorce before he was legally declared or identified as Alexandra Davis's father.
Sure.
Jerry wasn't giving her money and funding her divorce because he felt bad for her. He was giving her money and funding the divorce so that she didn't start jumping up and down in court going, Jerry Jones is the daddy. This was all to keep her quiet 25 years ago. But no, I was just doing it to help. I just felt bad. I feel bad.
Yeah, he's such a nice guy. Yeah.
Right. That's crazy.
Goodness of his heart.
About 27 was used, blah, blah, blah. The lawsuit alleges that it was in Jones' best interest for Cynthia Davis to finalize the divorce. Yeah, it was, before he was legally declared or identified as Alexandra Davis's father. How much money did the man she was divorcing get to keep his mouth shut? I bet Jerry gave him some money too, you know?
Oh, man, I probably so, right?
Yeah,
you would have to.
You'd have to quiet that guy up. He knows what's going on.
Oh, man. Like, it's not worth it if you're that guy, but at least you get something out of it.
He moved on. 25 years ago, he's probably very happy. Probably started his own family with Jerry Jones' money.
No, he probably lost the love of his life because she was a gold digger. And no, I still feel a little bit for the dude.
Jones and Cynthia Davis worked out a, quote, deal stating that Jones would provide financial support for Cynthia and Alexandra Davis as long as they did not publicly reveal that he was Alexandra's father. Breaching the deal would result in financial support being cut off and Jones or Jack would sue. Now imagine they try to sue for that in this day and age. What an asshole they'd look like.
Right. God.
Out, she's like, Jerry's my daddy. Sue the hell out of her. But they can prove, Jerry, that you did this and that she's your daughter and that you've never even seen her. I don't care. Sue the hell. I mean, that would be a bad look. That's a really bad rep look. So he can't. That's a false threat. What are you going to do, Jerry? Seriously? We start talking about this. You're going to sue me? We can prove that she's your daughter. You did this, Jerry. You are dead. The court of public opinion. When we go to Emperor James's court, he's going to just say, look, this is what people are saying. It doesn't matter what's legal. This is what people know about you. Gerbil face. He looks more and more like a gerbil with every plastic surgery that he gets. Just gets pulled back tighter. In exchange for confidentiality, a lump sum payment of $375,000, this is back in 97, a lump sum payment of $375,000 would be paid to Cynthia Davis once the settlement was executed. And 2 trusts were set up and funded by Jones for Alexandra Davis. Alexandra was to receive certain monthly, annual, and special funding from the trusts until she turned 21. And then yearly lump sums when she turned 24, 26, and 28. The grantor of the trust was Donnie Jack.
Donnie Jack. Yeah, of course.
She don't know her daddy, but she knows Uncle Donnie Jack. Uncle Donnie Jack is who she goes to see when she needs to buy that new car for college.
Go see the special man.
Uncle Donnie Jack. Let's see. The lawsuit said that Jones barred Alexandra. This is his daughter. The lawsuit said that Jones barred Alexandra Davis, who was 1 year old at the time of the settlement, from ever seeking to legally establish paternity. Alexandra Davis has spent her life concealing her father's identity, and that Jones' only role in her life is to shun her and coerce her from ever disclosing his identity, according to her lawsuit. Alexandra grew up in Dallas, graduated from Southern Methodist University, according to court documents. Jones' home is just a few miles from the campus, it says. Yeah, it's right down the street.
Yeah. Right down they're pretty close.
SMU's right there, yeah. Right down the street. He can walk to the football field if he wanted to. Let's see here. Jones has been in contact with Cynthia Davis, but he and Alexandra, his daughter, have never met.
Aww. That's the weird part I don't understand because
that's the part that really tells us he's a shit human being.
Because how can you live just a mere miles away from your own kid and not just go run and hug him?
If you've got this secret fun, I understand I don't want my family to be upended. I get that, but you still he can sneak away with mistresses, right? Allegedly, theoretically.
Well, that's how we ended up with this broad.
So yeah. He can't sneak away to have lunch once a week with the daughter that he fathered. He can't. He didn't want to. He didn't want, there was nothing in it for him, which once again tells us what a piece of shit he is. Court of public opinion. That's all we're talking about.
Yeah.
This is why I despise Larry King, the Larry King story, where he grew up, he fathered a kid who was, had his same name and lived like blocks away from him and never met him until the kid was like 41 years, knew the whole time that his son was living right down the street and never. That's sociopathic. That means there's something wrong with you as a human being. You are not a normal person. That's not nice.
No, I'd be stalking my kid if he lived a mile away from me. If I'd never met him, I'd be like, I need to meet you right now.
Jerry Jones in the past 25, she's 25 years old. In the past 25 years, how many times has Jerry Jones been able to sneak away and do something shady? Whether it was to like scout some free agent or have some BS meeting with somebody he wasn't supposed to be meeting with. He couldn't meet his daughter, his own daughter. God.
How many kids does he have? He has like 4, right?
He's got
there's the 2 older sons.
Yeah.
There's like Slappy and Doc and
Sneezy, and then Princess whatever, Stephanie Jones. I don't know, whatever.
Alexandra.
He's got the lawsuit said Alexandra Davis has lived in fear of losing the support if she'd ever told anyone he was his father.
What's the fear? Oh no, I got to support myself. Oh no.
Yeah, that's the fear. Exactly. See, this is what I'm talking about. None of these people are really. The only time she had ever disclosed her father's identity was when she had to obtain security clearance from the FBI to work in the White House for President Donald Trump. The lawsuit says she currently works for U.S. Rep. Old drunky doc Ronnie Jackson, an Amarillo Republican. This, according to her LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, he used to be like the president's physician. That guy.
Yeah, he's the guy who said that he's in the best shape of any president ever.
Yeah, really, that guy. Sure.
Guy. And then showed up drunk on TV and had to step down. And now he's a congressman. Court documents said Cynthia Davis was subpoenaed to give a deposition in divorce proceedings of Jones's daughter, Charlotte Jones. Oh, there's one.
Yeah, Charlotte. That sounds familiar.
Court documents for that case are also sealed. Okay. So that's basically it. So here we got a couple of like Dallas Real Housewives that have been living high off the hog for 25 years because of Jerry Jones, needing to cheat on his wife, which let's not kid ourselves. That's what he was doing. He was cheating on his wife. That's the whole reason that this was made a secret. Well, Pugs, what if they had an open relationship? Yeah, well, then he's just a piece of shit. If there was no risk to him, then why didn't he ever have any contact with his blood daughter? His biological kid. I mean, this entire story is just one bad look after another for Jerry.
Well, it is, but it also makes you think of how many guys get away with this. It also thinks of how many guys in lower socioeconomic ladders get away with this, or at least attempt this. And I don't think this is necessarily a rich guy problem. This is just a sleazy guy problem.
This is like one of those things you do. Rich guys and poor guys have the same problem.
Rich man, poor man. Yes.
Yeah.
They have extra kids by women they're not married to. That is a rich man, poor man overlap.
Except Jerry was just in a position where he could write money. He could write checks. Now, remember, he bought the Cowboys for $140,000. That team is now worth
$140 million.
Or $140 million. The team is now worth like $5 billion. He is a billionaire. And according to this, I mean, we don't know what the monthly stipends were that he was giving, but the big chunk payout was in 1997, and it was $375,000. So this guy
is nothing. That's gone. That would
totally gone. That would buy you a nice house somewhere in North Texas in the year 2000, right? That's $375. Not even a really nice house. Couldn't get you in this neighborhood. Wouldn't
get you.
But Plano, Frisco, at the time, maybe. All right, so $375, and then he had to pay her every month. What do you think he was paying her a month?
No idea, but I find this absolutely fascinating. Like, what is she really risking giving up here? Because it talks about like she's like, she risked her monthly income or whatever. Who cares? You got to support yourself. Whoop-de-doo. Wouldn't you rather have like your father in your life?
Yeah, not him though. He doesn't want to be in her life. This is not about Daddy, I love you. Oh, I'm
Right. Look, and it's not our dad, and we can easily say that this guy's a piece of garbage, but this is her dad. And even if your dad is a piece of garbage, you would like to have a conversation with him. You'd like to go have a Denny's Grand Slam or something with him, right?
Some
Like
cowboy tickets.
yeah, a cup of coffee. You didn't even. I don't even have to sit in the owner's box. Just I would like to meet my own father.
You ain't sitting in the owner's box, not with the legit. Kid.
No, never. You're not, and I'm not asking, and I don't expect to. That's too big of an ask. But to meet the dude, like to meet your father, that's not too big of an ask. So now my concern is also with her. It's like, wouldn't you be willing to give that up to meet your own dad? Because I would. But I mean, I'm used to taking care of myself and secure in the fact that I'm going to have the ability to pay my own bills without help.
I honestly, you know what I think this is? And by the way, let's go back to the money thing now. Alexandra Davis was to receive certain monthly, annual, and spending funding from the trust until she turned 21. And then yearly lump sums when she turned 24. She's 25. She got the 24, 26, and 28. So what is she giving up? She's,
2 paydays.
But she's still got to pay. He's still her father, unless a court goes, well, you know what? You did have a contract and you came public, so he doesn't have to pay it. And he'd be like, ha, got away with it. And his wife just hits him over the head with a rolling pin. Clang! Jerry, get back in the garage. That's where you're sleeping now. Here's the thing. Here's what I think this is about. I think this is about, these are reality TV people, man. If you saw this show, these people were just all about, look at me, look at me. This girl, Alexandra Davis, wants to be able to go around North Texas as Alexandra Davis Jones. She wants the cachet that opens doors, that allows her to take meetings, that the name Jones brings in this town. She wants to be an authentic daughter of Jerry Jones. That brings cachet, man. That's got mileage in this town. And I think that's what she's looking for. Maybe she's going to write a book about all of this, and she thinks she will make more off an advance from this book than she would with her 26 and 28 year payout. I don't know.
Yeah, when you put it like that, you're right. There's absolutely no downside to her being associated with Jerry Jones. So yeah, she would like to be able to hyphenate the hell out of that name.
And then when she goes around, she's using the name Jones, and every time she shows up somewhere, it just reminds people that, oh yeah, that's the little girl that Jerry Jones was so mean to, that he wanted nothing to do with. It's ongoing bad for Jerry. So now Jerry will be forced to do a public reconciliation with her. Not the family knows. If this was hidden from the family for all these years, they know now. And, I see nothing but upside for her. This girl is going, yeah, this cannot be bad for me, because I will be a Jones. He'll be forced to publicly make nice with me.
This is one of the good things about never cheating, is that this can never happen. Like,
you got a long way to go, my friend. But I'm happy to hear the attitude. That's
right. Well, look, if I hadn't cheated by now, it ain't happening. I'm only getting uglier by the day.
And of course, if you had cheated, you would have offered that up. Because people who cheat never say they don't cheat.
Oh yeah, well, good point.
It's not like
no, but we've about closed the little Overton window, because it's almost been 18 years since I met my wife, and so once that happens, I am just all in the clear. I can pop a couple extra champagne bottles and be like, well, there's going to be no secret kids anymore.
Yeah, and I can also I didn't mean to throw like shade on you there.
No, shade it up. I'm fine.
No, I've been out with you as a married man or as a guy in a relationship. You're not a cheater. There are different. There are
yeah, Pugs can back me up on that.
No, you're not. You're not a cheater. You're not a cheater. I have friends who are cheaters. Like there are people that I hang around with that that are cheaters, and you're not one of them. So, hey, we went out that one night in New Orleans, and we were getting hammered, and I don't think either one of us. We even went to a strip club, and I don't think either one of us ever even looked at a girl. We were just talking radio and UFC the whole time.
Yeah, because we had to go to the like Rick's or something to watch the John Bones Jones. Yeah, to watch some UFC match. They were the ones that had it. So I'm sorry I had to be around all these naked chicks.
trying to think of any of the people that worked on our show. Is there anyone that would be a cheater? I don't know. Like, I don't know. But Bobby, maybe. Bobby seemed like he was.
Well, Bobby wouldn't do it behind her back. He'd just do it in front of her face because they're
that's
swingers,
right.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're open-minded swingers, you know.
Bobby was a swinger.
Yeah, hey, man, it's 2002. Things are different, you know.
Eric wasn't. Eric.
Kinda?
No, dude, he fell so hard in love with every girl that he was with. It was like he would never. He was
Every
like
girl that he did a three-way with? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, no, I'm talking about his serious relationships.
What about Melissa then? How great did that work out?
Well,
I know.
But he didn't know. I don't believe he did anything wrong there.
Well, then did Sybil cheat?
I don't think so. Did she? Do I not know what was going on under my roof? Am I not aware? I don't know. I just thought we had all good people, good, honorable people.
Scumbags.
Of which,
for other reasons.
Eric had some friends that were, and you probably had some friends too that you brought around from time to time that were a little bit.
Well, there's different levels of scumbag. There are people who like cheat on their wives. There are people who like do mushrooms and throw it behind a cop car.
No, that's fun. That's me.
Yeah, it's degenerate is what it is, but it's fun.
Yes, I do. I have some degenerate genes in me. That's for damn sure.
Later.
All right, James. There he goes. That's James Parker. Come back. We had no issues today except for the very beginning of the show. Oh, here's something. Now that he's gone. Here's something I want. And not now that he's gone, because it didn't matter if he left or not. As a matter of fact, it probably would have been better if I had talked to him about this. So I heard a conversation today. I was listening to some friends' radio show, and out of market, I was using one of the apps that allows you to listen to shows from other markets. And they had a really interesting conversation about something, and they were presenting it as this is weird, this is weird, this is weird. And it really struck me because it's something that I not only do all the time, but it's like something that I enjoy doing. Somebody said that they were going out to dinner, and one of the people said, "Oh, who are you going with?" And this person said, "Nobody, I'm just going by myself." And then they started pushing like, "Oh, who are you going to dinner with? You don't want to tell us. Who are you going to dinner with?" And they poked and they prodded, and they finally settled on the idea that he was legitimately just going to dinner by himself. He was just going to a place that he liked this meal, and he wanted to go, and he was going to sit there, and he was going to have dinner by himself. And they were all, one other person on the show totally agreed with him and said, "Oh, that's awesome. That is like the best thing. I enjoy that so much." But then everybody else was like, "That's weird. That's sad. That's lonely. That's sad." And I'm listening to this while I was out on my run today. And I'm like, "Oh, that's like my favorite thing of all time." I love going to dinner by myself. I prefer, if it's a restaurant that I really enjoy, and you're never by yourself, because here's the thing, okay, so like, let's say, I haven't since I moved back because I don't have the money. But back in the day when I was doing all right, there was a Bob's Steakhouse right around the corner from where I was living. And I would just be sitting on the couch watching TV, and I'd go, "I didn't have any dinner yet. You know what? I'm going to go to Bob's." And I don't have anybody to go to Bob's Steakhouse with. So I would just walk around the corner. This is in the one in Plano, the one that's in Legacy Village. I just walk around the corner, and I'd walk in, and they'd say, "Do you have a reservation?" I'd be like, "No, I'm just going to sit at the bar." I just sit at the bar. I have a drink. I watch the Mavericks game, and I just eat a steak. And it is like one of the most legitimately enjoyable things that I could ever do. I go out all the time to dinner by myself. I don't even tell anybody. And you're never alone. You're never by yourself. You talk to the bartender. Somebody sits down next to you. Now, I do think that maybe it would be a little bit weird if like I sat in the dining room at a table where there were 2 chairs. That I don't know what I would do. But at restaurants, I've that's a normal thing for me. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna sit at the bar. Let me see a menu. I have a little something to eat, and you talk to the bartender. That's how you get to know them, and see other people. I just thought they treated this like it was such a strange thing. I loved, yeah, Ed points out, funny because there's still a Bob's Steakhouse right around the corner. Yeah, there is. The real Bob's is right on the corner, but I used to have the one up in Legacy Village that I'd love and I'd go to. And I went there so much, I would go there, I don't know, maybe once a week. And it was sort of like I'm not going to say it was like my present to myself, but it was like I looked forward to it. Like Tuesday night, when nobody doing anything, we got any appearances, we're not gonna do anything. I'm like, okay, well, hey, you know what? I'm gonna get a steak tonight. I'm gonna go get a steak. And you'd sit at the bar and you just talk to people, and you weren't on a date, there wasn't anybody you'd be like, so how was your day? And they made this person, the radio show that I was listening to, they made this person seem like a freak until one other person chimed in and went, no, that's actually pretty great. That's when you can do that. That's pretty awesome. And I started to think, is there a difference between day parts? Like, okay, going to dinner, I enjoy going to dinner by myself. I enjoy a good meal. If it's something that I really like and I can afford it, I will go and I will sit and I will have that meal. That's dinner. But it seems far more common with breakfast, right? Like, don't people go out to breakfast all the time by themselves? I used to go out to breakfast all the time by myself just because it's breakfast and you got to get something to eat. So you walk in and you sit at you get every movie. You see a whole bunch of movies where people are eating breakfast by themselves at the diner counter, drinking their cup of coffee, looking at the newspaper. So it's like something that seems okay for breakfast. Is lunch sad? Nah, lunch you have to eat in your car. That's I get that. You just get whatever you get, and then you just sit in your car and eat. But if you're sitting like at 1:00 in the afternoon at some dead sports bar, and you're like the only guy eating a Reuben sandwich, that's a little weird. So you just go out in your car for lunch. But man, I don't know. Am I weird? Is that a weird thing that I like to go and eat by myself? I would actually, if it's a restaurant that I really like, I would actually prefer to go by myself. Can you tell I've been on a lot of bad dates? Can you tell that I've had a lot of meals ruined at restaurants that I enjoy because somebody was there and I was forced to have conversation with them? Or can you tell that I'm an only child? Can you tell that I was raised as an only child? And although certain circumstances may suggest to others that, oh, that's so lonely, these are little clues about me to make you go, oh no, that's not. I always tell my only child son, there is a big difference between being lonely and wanting to be alone. I am someone who enjoys being alone. John says, as I travel for work, I usually get it to go. And then what do you do? Yeah, because John, you're in your car all the time. You're driving cross country. You probably stay in a lot of hotels. Do you take it back to your hotel and eat it there? Why, if you're on the road, why not? I also like to people watch. I like to sit and I like to think. I like to be inside my own head. Maybe there's a game on the TV. You get to know the bartender by name. He's not going to chat you up. He gets it. He's seen this before. He knows what this move is. Maybe somebody comes in, hey, how are you? You say hello to them and all that, and then you just go right back to your thing. They leave you alone because you look. I never thought that it looked sad before. I never thought about that. Now the one thing that I don't do, that I've known other people who do is I wouldn't feel comfortable going to a movie theater by myself like that. Even I feel bad for people like when you see like an old man or an old lady or whatever, not even old, but that's like the sad one. That's the one I'm trying. They show up to the movie theater and they're all by themselves and they're just sitting in a movie theater. They might be totally fine with it, but that gives off a different vibe. I don't think I could do that unless I was a movie critic. Movie critics do it all the time. Going to a movie, yeah, I got to go with somebody. Otherwise, just watch it alone in your house, which is fine. John says, sometimes I just go in, just not a person to sit at the bar. I like to sit at the bar. I like that. Jeff says, I love when I go to a bar and I'm the only customer. I sit there and enjoy my beer in silence. Yeah, there is something nice about it. I don't know. I just thought I'd never thought about it as being weird. I had never thought about it as being odd that some people enjoy going out to dinner by themselves and sitting at the bar and just having peace and being lost within their own narcissism. It's my own time. I'm thinking, I'm having conversations with myself because I'm batshit crazy. All right, we'll see you tomorrow at noon for High Noon. Topics. Headlines. If it's news, we'll talk about it tomorrow at noon. Thanks, everybody. See ya.